And today we're going to be talking about a variety of topics, honestly anything under the sort of category of neurodiversity, just because, you know, for funsies. I don't really live stream that often. I got like a bright light up here, that's why I got pink glasses on, because, you know, lighting. I hate lights so much. Now I'm kind of debating whether I should just turn it off, because, you know, for me to shut down in the middle of the live stream would not be good. Let me check to make sure that I'm actually live. Because, okay, looks like I'm live. Let me go to the link. Wow, it's taking forever to load. So, hi Paxton, hi Nadaj. Let me make sure I've got my chat working as well. For some reason, my live stream is not actually loading. Hello, Laugh at Darkness. How are you doing? Wow, my live stream's not loading on my end when I'm trying to load it in my browser. That is a pain in the butt. You guys actually seeing the stream? Here, let me make sure I've got the chat up. Hang on. Where's the chat? Where's the chats? You're feeling switchy and you're supposed to do chores. Yeah, I feel that. The moment when you're like, I gotta do something, and then you switch and you're like, what was I supposed to do again? Okay, you do see me. Okay. Let me get my chat up because it is not really working very well. Restream chat. There's a couple different ones. I'm gonna duplicate one of these. Paste. Reference. Whoop, there's a chat. Hello. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. If you don't know what that is, Google it. I'm not going to say here. HYCYBH. Properties. Let's see if I can increase the height here. Let's go for 1,000 for height. This baby's gonna be one tall chat. Oh, nope. Needs to be taller than that. Still is a little insecure about its height, so we're gonna help it out a little bit. Nope, not quite. Trying to get it all the way to the bottom. I am not very prepared. I literally woke up this morning and it was utter chaos, and I'm like, well, crap. I have to prepare for my live stream. I'm usually good at managing time these days, especially now that I'm on meds. That helps a lot. Okay, yay, we now have a chat that actually covers the whole screen. That's amazing. Okay. Yes, success. I did it. I'm adulting. Ooh, you know what would be really cool? I gotta show you my light. I apologize for the brightness. Ah, okay, I can change the color. Let's see if I can. Ooh. Oh, I forgot about this. I'm gonna make it like rave. Don't worry, I'll make sure that it's, you know, epilepsy friendly and all that good stuff. Can't really adjust the amount of brightness there. I'm gonna see what happens if I just let it like cycle through colors. It's probably gonna change me like to different colors or something. Your boyfriend has a light like that? That's cool. Yeah, I love this thing. It's awesome. It's not, when it's cycling through the colors, it's not quite bright enough that you can actually like tell. I almost have to put it like right next to me or something. I literally put it right on top of my glass of water that you can't see in the corner over there. But hi, this should make it more interesting to watch, I guess. Hi Mira, it's good to see you here. I hope you're doing okay. So, Mira, I'm glad you're here because, see, I had some topics in mind to talk about, but then I was talking to you this morning and like that kind of got me thinking about maybe I should talk about like autism and employment and like working and stuff. I might have talked about this before in my channel. I don't know. But like, yeah. I was wondering what you think of that. Just the nature of what it's like trying to work when you're autistic. Yes. Sup? Also, I did not eat this morning because I was getting ready. So I have this is a little tuna and rice bowl. So I'm probably going to be sort of taking some bites throughout this, but I will mute whenever I do so. On autism and work, you know what? Let me put a little text thing on the screen to show you what we're talking about. So when people pop in, they'll actually like know what we're talking about. No, I have a lot of, okay. This is not what we're talking about. That was from last time. Capitalism sucks, man. That's what we're gonna put on the screen. All right. Capitalism does actually suck. So what has been you guys' experience with work? Are you on the autism spectrum? Are you ADHD? Do you have some kind of neurodivergence or mental illness that makes it difficult to work? And how does it affect your work? I'm curious to hear. So I'm gonna mix my food and take a few bites while you guys mull over that question or questions. Sorry, I have to keep my blood sugar up. I did not eat this morning. All right, so Laugh at Darkness says, 24, have not had a job, live at home, it's a mess. Yeah, I relate. Mira says, it is difficult to work any job. Laugh at Darkness says, autistic system, ooh woo. Hello, I'm an autistic system as well. Laugh at Darkness says, can't remember what I have done or not done because of being a system. Struggle with interviews and breaking things into steps because of autism. It's really hard and has caused me to split new system members. Yeah, employment, I think in a lot of cases can be downright traumatic for a lot of us, especially if we've had to go, to do multiple different jobs and then have like the same experience of just really struggling every time. I remember that when I worked at, the only job that I have had that was like a paid job and not volunteer work was like working at Target. And I worked not even that many hours. I worked like 4 hours a week, maybe, not very much. But even so, like, I just could not, I'm more like detail focused than speed focused. I'm not very efficient. So they would tell me at my annual review, you need to work with more urgency. And I'm like, I am working with urgency. I'm anxious all the gosh darn time. And I'm doing my best. And like, do you want your aisles to look like perfectly sparkly? Because I can do that. Do you want them done fast? I can't do that. So, but yeah, breaking things into steps. Like, what's interesting is I think I'm good at the breaking things into steps, but it's the doing them fast, which is difficult for me. So efficiency is just really not my strong suit. Paxton says, I have autism and ADD. The things I've noticed is if I'm asked to do more than 2 things, I can't. I literally have to do one and then get the other thing done as soon as I feel like I can. Yeah. Not even neurotypical brains are always good at multitasking, so why would they expect an autistic person or ADD person to do multiple things at the same time? Doesn't work very well. It'd be so much better to just do one thing at a time. Bored Podcaster, or Jaden, says, I had to quit my first job because I couldn't keep a normal pace. I qualified for disability after that. Well, I'm glad you qualified for disability. We might actually talk a little bit about that as well. One moment. I got a piece of rice stuck in my throat. A lot of reasons I'm usually not on camera, and that's one of them. I need to blow my nose all the gosh darn time. Okay, Laugh at Darkness says, I'm slow AF. Yes. Wordy says, I remember when I worked at Whole Foods and was told to always work with a sense of urgency. Meanwhile, my boss would take her sweet time with literally everything. Rules for thee, but not for me. Yeah, that's very hypocritical and stupid. It seems like the people who have like some kind of supervisor position, or like, you know, basically if they're higher than you, it seems like they get more excuses to get away with things, which is dumb, because the people who are really doing most of the work are usually the people at the bottom. So telling the people at the bottom to work with more urgency when they're probably already stressed out to hell and like probably anxious and are probably low income and dealing with a lot of crap already, it's like, that's not going to motivate them to work faster. You're just setting them up for a panic attack and for burning out. So yeah, I think the whole way that America views work, I know some of you probably aren't in America, but like, at least here in America, I feel like the way we view work is just super unhealthy. It's like, you and I gotta be going all the time, work with a sense of urgency, take on a bajillion side gigs, do everything, don't ever stop, don't breathe, don't sleep, don't do anything. And that's extremely unhealthy. We're not robots. Paxton says at my first job, they always told me to work faster. Yep. This has been a consistent issue for me, like, as well. I hate it so much. So how I tried to, I think I'm better at advocating for myself now. Part of that is I am on meds. I'm on Zoloft and I'm on Wellbutrin, and both of those help me in a myriad of ways. But one of the ways is it helps me to actually speak up and to actually like communicate my needs without feeling super anxious or feeling like crap about needing things. And that's helped me kind of communicate to potential employers. Okay, this song's really annoying. I'm going to skip it. It's helped me communicate to potential employers that, hey, if you want to hire me, I am a quality over quantity person, or a quality over speed person. If you want something done really well, that is in my realm. If you want it done fast, that is not in my realm. Laugh at Darkness says, we go through psychosis if we get too stressed. So, like, we need to chill or else. It's bad. Yeah. So, oh my gosh. I feel like, you know what we should do? We should give all of the neurotypical people, including the bosses, especially the bosses. Maybe not. Okay, let's just do this to the higher ups, the people who are employers. We'll give them mental illness for a while. Just poof. Magic wand, wave the wand. You have psychosis, you have autistic burnout, you have this, you have this, you have this. And then put them in the same job that the people at the bottom are doing, and see how they feel about that. And when they realize that they have to take a break for actual legitimate mental health reasons, they'll be like, oh, I get it now. That's why I keep losing employees. Huh. You know, I'm gonna start putting in more progressive policies in the workplace. Or they'll just go back to the way things were, because we all know how this goes, you know. That's kind of how I feel like it was with the whole, 2020, all the events that happened in 2020, which forced people to kind of, change the way they work from home, actually think about disabled people as well. And it was a great time for me. It was a great time for other disabled people. But I feel like at this point, we've gone back to normal. And it's like, have you even learned anything? I thought we were supposed to overthrow capitalism in 2020. We have not yet. We have not fixed everything. Maybe some things improved, like some jobs actually allow you to work from home more now, which is great, but not all. Wordy says, corporate America never really learned to understand mental illness. Yeah, and that's screwed up because, like, again, we're not robots, we're humans. I mean, if you want to just replace us with robots, sure, go ahead. Then maybe we won't need capitalism. Just give us money for staying at home and let the robots do the work. I remember getting written up for appearing to be too sad. What? What? It's like saying, I don't like your face. You're in trouble now. Person, just focus on school. Work harder. Yeah, no. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little more personal here because people that I know personally, I'm gonna keep them all anonymous, but there are people who have worked far more than I have, and like I've always struggled with work to the point that like I'm just like, nope, can't do it. So I'm really glad I'm on disability. But I have friends who are not on disability or who have not yet gotten on disability, who they've worked a ton of different jobs. And it seems like there's this very common pattern, including amongst quote-unquote high-functioning autistic people, not that that's like a real thing, but the people who appear to fit in pretty well, or who can mask to the point that they can sort of blend into a workplace to some degree and not be immediately fired. So some friends of mine seem to have this pattern where they'll, like, for example, here's one thing that I've seen. One thing I've seen is that they would work for maybe 3 months. And during those 3 months, you know, they're working hard, they're focused on work, they're doing their job. But at home, it's like they can't like cook or clean or do any of that stuff because they don't have time. They don't have energy. All their focus is into work. So then everything reaches a point to where they realize they can't manage anything anymore. Work is getting more and more and more anxiety inducing. They reach a point of burnout. Something bad probably happens at work, or they're, you know, written up for something that they can't help. And then they're like, I'm out, and they leave. Or they are fired, and I say fired because a lot of employers, instead of directly firing them, will just make the, you know, because they don't, basically, I don't know why they do this. I think maybe it's to prevent them from getting on unemployment. I don't know, but they don't, instead of directly firing them, they'll just make the workplace so inhospitable that that person is forced to leave. So that person is unemployed. And, you know, maybe they clean up some things about their life and then they go get another job, and then the whole cycle repeats again. And this happens to a lot of people. Some people can last longer than a couple of months in a job. Some people last less than a couple of months in a job. But there's just always this annoying cycle that, you know, it's like you get a job, you're excited about it, you're like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna contribute to society, yeah, and then things seem to be going well, and then the mask falls off bit by bit by bit as your energy is just kind of draining. And if you're not given a break, which is very common, it seems like they just don't want to give people any paid time off. They don't want to, it's like either you're part-time and hardly work at all, which is not worth it because you can't pay the bills that way, or you're full-time and you get like no breaks aside from, you know, maybe you get a 30-minute break every day, but you're on all the time. And that's unhealthy because then you'll definitely reach burnout. But yeah, so that tends to happen. This cycle of just things become so overwhelming that you just have to leave the job. And honestly, I think that the way that work is, like, I don't think even it's just autistic people going through this. I think some neurotypicals experience this. Maybe it takes them longer to reach the point of burnout, or, you know, they probably have higher tolerance. But I feel like, yeah. Okay, I gotta read all of what you're saying. Paxton says they're actually working on robots to go to work for people. Oh, that'd be great. Can I just have like a robot version of myself to go to work? That'd be nice. Yeah, Wordy says quiet firing so they don't have to pay unemployment. Yep. Is it, okay, I'm not an expert on this, but is it the employers themselves that pay the employees like unemployment when they actually like fire them. Because if that's the case, like, I don't think that should be the case. I think it should just be the government that pays unemployment, so that so that at least the people get something, like, and that way the employees could be like, oh, I can just fire you and, you know, not pay unemployment because the government's taking care of that. But if, like, you're making it so they don't qualify at all, it's like, that's stupid. You're just basically making, you know, it's like putting them out on the street. Why would you do that? Laugh at darkness. Pfft, you don't need a break. Sarcasm. Yes. Paxton says, my first job said, I'm doing good, but I need to talk more. Was it like a customer service kind of job, or? Because there are some jobs where I can picture that being a thing, but I feel like a lot of employers require people to be more social in positions that actually don't really require this social stuff to actually get the job done. Wordy says, unemployment offices are beginning to pick up on it, though. Stuff like hostile work environments and forced resignations can still get you unemployment if you can provide some proof. Yeah. So yeah, for those of you who are here who are struggling with work stuff, keep that in mind. What Wordy said. I don't know, like, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I hope it is, but apparently if you go through a forced resignation and not like direct firing, you can still get on unemployment. So I'm just going to take your word for it, Wordy, because I really just don't even know about this stuff. Laugh at Darkness says, when you burn out, people say, why can't you do X? You did fine before. And it's like, again, we're humans, you know? Can you be on all the time? Mira says, the job gets a slight fine for firing people. Oh, I didn't know that. Paxton says, they can fire you and then make everyone else work harder for the same money. Yeah, that's dumb. Paxton says, yes, it was this customer service job, but I was a bagger, so they even said that when I became the janitor. Okay, bagger I can understand, because you're up front and you're like with people. You're not, you know, checking them out. Oh, that sounds awkward. Yeah, don't check out the customers, not like that. You're not at the register, like actually scanning the items and stuff. I feel like that's maybe a little more social than bagger, but bagger is still kind of up front and kind of social. But janitor, you shouldn't have to interact with people if you're mopping the floors. So, let's see. I'm gonna, Mira, I'm gonna send you a DM and ask you a quick question, if that's okay. There we go. I sent you a message. So, let me think of some other situations. Like, my situation some situations that I've basically experienced. I'm trying to just be kind of vague, I guess, because I don't want to rip into past employers if they were like actually good ones. But like, I think because I'm really, really good at certain tasks, especially in the, I guess in the category that I actually studied for, which is like film and stuff. I'm good at video editing, and I do like quality work. I think because of that, people expect, oh, I should be able to work as efficiently as every other editor. And in some cases, and I've seen this on job descriptions as well, in some cases they expect me to do everything, not just the video editing, the filming, the directing, the writing. Like, it's like, you know, if I want to try and get a job for doing commercials, for example, I can't just do the editing. I have to do everything. I have to I have to direct, and I'm like, nope. I've just never signed up for any of those jobs because expecting me to do everything, like, I'm not going to be as good with what I'm good at if I have to do everything else, and I'm putting all my energy into everything. So, Wordy says, so yes, the government does pay unemployment, but if you end up on unemployment, your previous employer gets taxed higher for it. Wow. It really isn't a significant amount either, and it comes from the corporate budget. However, the higher-ups are specifically trained to cut costs, and unemployment is one of the easy ones to do by employing aggressive tactics to force out employees. That's so messed up. That is extremely messed up. So I almost feel like, geez, they need to change some of these rules, because even just the experience of being forced out, I feel like, is more traumatic than straight up being fired. Laugh at Darkness says, watched your film over and over after I got diagnosed as autistic. Oh my gosh, thanks so much. I hope that it helped and was validating in some way. When were you diagnosed, by the way? Was that like recently or a while back? Okay. One moment, I need a few more bites of food, and then I have another story to tell you. One that just completely pisses me off. But I almost feel like, because this is, you know, a stressful conversation. Hang on a second. Hang on one second. I'm gonna grab something fun and relaxing. The screen will change briefly, but hang on. There we go. Please enjoy these. Oh, this way. Please enjoy these little cats on the screen while I eat a little bit of food. But I'm gonna also, let me quickly read also what you all said, because the chat reset. So, Jane said should be illegal. Oh, you're talking about the whole forcing people out, yeah. And then Laugh at Darkness said, when I was 17, I'm 24 now. Wow, cool. So that was a while back then. Sweet. I'm 31. I got diagnosed when I was like 14. So I've known for a while, but okay, gonna eat. Hang on. In the meantime, why don't you all tell me if you have any pets and what kind of pets they are? So you have a kitty named Bella, and she floofy. Yes, floofy cats are great. Mira says, I have a cat named Luna. I've had her since she was a kitten. I was 20 when I got her. I'm 31 now. So, so she's like 11 years old now. Oh my gosh. Luna, I've seen Luna. She is the most beautiful cat I've ever seen. She's a black kitty with like very like floofy long fur, and she's just adorable. And then there's Nadaj. Yeah, I don't know if you would count Nadaj as a pet, but yeah, that's Jaden's wolf altar. Adorable. Oh, dropped something. Okay, one moment, and I'm gonna tell you a very rage-inducing story. Sorry, I needed some actual water after drinking tea. So, this story, I was given permission by Mira to share this. And I'm gonna keep the cats on the screen. This is reversed for me, so this is confusing. I'm gonna keep the cats on the screen during this. So, Mira, yes, Luna does a sit sprite. So Mira works in a job that's involves like basically nursing, and so it's a very, very demanding job, a very busy job, a very like physically and mentally, like having to be on all the time. And this is a job that she was initially very excited about, and I think she genuinely enjoys like taking care of people. That's her thing. But she's working full-time at this job, and like, you know, it's great at first, and people seem to like understand her, and you know, there are people there who are actually understanding of her being autistic and, you know, are okay with some of her quirks. But what they didn't probably realize is that this is the masked version of Mira that they're seeing. So they're fine with this version of Mira, right? And then as time goes on, and the... Oh! What happened? What happened? Paxton, thank you so much. I am so sorry that that's being blocked. I can't see it. Alert box. Oh, that's weird. Thank you so much, though. Thanks. I'm gonna actually... Here, I'm gonna move this for now. Because I don't have a version of this alert box where we can actually like see it in the stream, so I'm gonna put it right there. Okay. Anyway, sorry, back to the story. So she's enjoying the job, but as you know, she's doing this continuously for a long time, and things get more and more and more and more overwhelming as time goes on, and it becomes harder and harder for her to mask. And she starts getting comments from people saying like, oh, you need to, you know, like sitting her down, talking to her, saying, hey, you need to have a little more of a filter, when she was already filtering herself like this entire time, and it's starting to become unsustainable. And a lot of and oh my god, I see this happen so much. A lot of the concerns were from people who were new residents at this nursing facility and new employees that didn't even know a darn thing about Mira. And they were complaining about just how she is and how she's like being more unfiltered in what she's saying because she can't keep masking. And basically, they just told her straight up, like, if you don't filter, you might not be able to keep your job here. And when she told me about all this today, I'm like, and that's part of why I'm talking about this today too. I'm like, now I want to talk about this topic. When I heard about this, I'm like, oh my freaking goodness. I was so optimistic that this job would be different from the other jobs that Mira had had. I've known her for a really long time. She's like one of my best friends. This has happened so many times in the past where she would not be able to maintain her masking anymore at work, and then things would just very quickly go downhill, and then she would either be, you know, fired or forced to resign, or she would leave on her own because it's just become too much. So it's just, again, it's this endless cycle. And I feel like a lot of autistic people go through this, and it absolutely freaking sucks. So I'm just really sad because I'm like, this job, she was enjoying it, and now they're being butts just like every other employer that she's ever had. So I'm like, Sorry, she's my best friend, and I just want to like, All right, let me read some of your comments here. Thank you for listening to my rant about this whole thing. Let's see. Revolt, hi, welcome. Laugh at Darkness says we are a system because all of us are girls and body is female. Oh, I get it. That's pretty great. that was a clever play on words there. Yay. Yay. Revolt says I just got back from a nap. Lark says meow. Hello, Lark. Good to see you here. Laugh at Darkness asks... Oh, Revolt was asking Laugh at Darkness if they're a furry. Cool. Cammy's perfectly imperfect neurodivergent life. I love your name. It's very long, but it's very reminiscent of the name I previously had on my channel, which was Lucia's neurodivergent life. I love it. Laugh at Darkness says, I'm dusting while watching this, by the way. Very productive. Woo! I do that too, all the time with YouTube videos. It helps my ADHD. I feel like I physically can't do some housework, like doing dishes or folding laundry and stuff, unless I'm either on the phone talking to someone or listening to YouTube videos. Laugh at Darkness says, sounds like me with friendships, to be honest. Oh yeah, I can picture that happening with friendships for sure. That sucks when that happens. Oh man, how many of you have had that experience where you are in a friendship and initially, you know, you're kind of showing them your masked self and you slowly unmask and then they realize, oh, I actually don't like how this person actually is, and then decide to like cut you off, because this seems to happen a lot with autistic people. I think it's happened to some degree with me, but usually I'm the one who ends up leaving first because I realize that I can't unmask around this person. If I don't feel like I can unmask, I don't feel like safe, I guess. I mean, in every friendship though, to some degree, I feel like I do have some level of masking, and part of that though is more like adapting to each person based on their personality. Like, what are some things about me that I need to tone down? What are some things that are okay to just let go and just do? And I think that to some degree is normal, as long as it's not like you're masking 100% of yourself 100% of your time of the time with a person. That is unhealthy. Paxton says, yep, all the time with friends. Oof. Mira says, sorry, my life sounds so upsetting. Well, it kind of is upsetting. Honestly, all the crap that you go through on a daily basis is just ridiculous. It makes me just want to like kidnap you and bring you over here, and we'll have fun, relaxing parties and drink tea and stuff and just be chill. Laugh at Darkness says, we accept autistic people. Acts autistic. Ew, bye. I mean, basically, yeah. It's like be yourself. No, not like that. Laugh at Darkness says, I physically can't mask. I don't know how. Yeah. That I feel like that's like a both a blessing and a curse, because you physically can't mask. The only people that are gonna want to probably be around you are ones that will genuinely like who you are, because you can't really hide it. But at the same time, not masking to some degree in a neurotypical world is also dangerous, because it, like, you basically could become a target for people because they immediately know that you're different. So it's again kind of a blessing and a curse. And I'm more of the, like, I mask and I overly suppress things about myself. I'm trying to work on that a little bit. Like, I feel just so easily embarrassed if I feel like I said the wrong thing or something. I'm super careful in how I word things and how I talk, and it's a pain. I guess the downside of that is I would have a blow up at some point because I feel like it can't be me. So Mira says, I'm only awake right now because I have no work this weekend. Okay, I'm glad you don't have any work this weekend. I give you hugs. Glyphic Enigma, hi, says, oh, it's an IRL Lucia. Yes, IRL Lucia. I did a poll a while back, and basically, I was asking, do you want to see more of me IRL on camera, or would you rather see my avatar, or both? And the majority was pretty much both. But I realized I was doing more of the character and not my face, so here's my face. I'm just trying to find a good setup that actually looks good while not being overstimulated, because, you know, eyeballs. This is one reason why I just can't be under bright lights and stuff. So I think I like what I'm doing with this light. I don't know, for those of you who weren't here earlier, it's changing color. It's hard to tell because of the camera, but so in lieu of bright lighting, I've got this. So Laugh at Darkness says, I will have no idea what I said was wrong, and people will just stop talking to me without saying why. Oh man, that's so frustrating and anxiety inducing. Paxton says off this weekend as well, thankfully. Yay. Laugh at Darkness says, live 2D is a new special interest of mine. I'm learning how to rig. Woo! Awesome! Woo! I have realized that 3D modeling avatars is very different from 2D modeling, but like doing live 2D, but there are some similarities like rigs and stuff. And if I want to try and learn the 2D stuff, which I might eventually, I know it's gonna be a different process. I'm more experienced with the 3D stuff, so I'm probably mostly gonna stick with that, but I will definitely try live 2D if I do 2D rigging. Glyphic Enigma says, I love that light. I wish I had one. If you'd like, I can send you a link to it from Amazon. I think it was like $30 or something. Revolt's also off this weekend. Cool. You all should... Let's just get all the people who are off work and have a party, but like a calm party, because we're all freaking stressed out. So... let's see if I can get a link to that light. I think it's called a lantern, though, not a light. My hands are cold, and oh, my gloves are right here. Perfect. I found it. Rechargeable lantern. I got the link. Here you go. Here's a link to my lantern. I actually didn't double check to... Oh, they are still selling it. It's only $22, and there's a 5% coupon. Sweet. Not bad. So Revolt Live 2D is... it's a program that is for creating like VTuber avatars and stuff like that, and for like rigging avatars. And I think you can use it for animation to some degree, but most people use it to make a 2D VTuber avatar. Mira says, I will be sleeping a good portion of this weekend and treating myself to a bubble bath. Woo! Do that. Totally do that. I highly recommend it. Laugh at Darkness says, was making a Has-Been Hotel fan animation, but I'm never finishing that monstrosity. I love Has-Been Hotel and Tell of a Boss. They're amazing. So cool. Okay, one moment while I have more tea and food, I will mute myself. Okay, I'm thinking, I might take a short break and go use the restroom and do whatever I need to do. And then when I come back, I have some other topics in mind that we could talk about. We've already talked about, like jobs and stuff, mostly a lot of venting about working and stuff. Oh, I didn't actually get into, I think I was talking about my experience as well, and I got sidetracked. So like, there was a job, and again, I'm just being vague. There was a job that I was doing that involved video editing, and I really like the job, and I liked the employer, and they were great. They were understanding about neurodiversity, being neurodivergent and stuff, but like, I still couldn't work as quickly as the other editors. And they were like, is there any way that you could go faster? You know, maybe cut some things down in your process. And I'm like, I can't. I really can't. Luckily though, we ended up communicating about it more, and you know, I told them like, really, this is just how I am. Like, I cannot go as fast as the other editors can. So honestly though, this discussion that I had with this employer was actually pretty productive for me, because eventually I did actually try to work on my my work process and see like, well, what are some things I can skip, or what are some things that, or some methods that I can use to actually get through this faster without being perfectionist. And also what kind of helped is the employer basically told me like, well, these videos I'm making, like, you know, your style is like artisan, like it's really good, which that actually made me feel really good. But then they're like, but my videos are not artisan. You don't have to be as specific with it. So that helped to know. I actually was able to improve some things about my workflow and to get a little bit faster. So I think I actually have improved by doing this job. But at the same time, I do still have, you know, I do hit like a ceiling where like, that is my limit right there. I can't go any faster than that. So I think now there's just this mutual understanding. It's like, you know, I can't go any faster. So just give me the low priority stuff, the low priority videos that, you know, that don't have like a deadline that's like really, really soon, and I can still do it. I'll just be slow. So yeah, okay. Just wanted to talk about my experience, but I feel very, very, very lucky to have had a like actually good employer who actually gets neurodiversity. Cami says, I relate a lot to you based on your videos on your day in the life. Oh, thank you. Yeah, those were fun to do. It was a little bit vulnerable to do them because, you know, it's like I'm recording what I'm doing in the day. It looks much different from me sitting here trying to be professional. But yeah. Laugh at Darkness says, I'm making a music video of Angel Dust to If They Let Them Into a Musical. Sweet. Na 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 na. Laugh at Darkness. I've been working on it for over 2 years, still not finished. Low-key, I'll feel bad about myself over it. Oh no, don't feel bad. Animation takes a long time. Like, oh my goodness. I started learning just some really basic animation in Clip Studio Paint, and it's hard. Like, it's not even that it's just hard. You can be like really good, and it still just takes time because I realized that, okay, not only do you have to draw out every frame, if you're doing frame by frame, that is, you have to color every frame, you have to clean up every frame. You're basically drawing a bajillion times. That's hard. It takes a long time, so don't feel bad about it. Like, how I see it, as long as you're making progress, whatever the pace is, just don't give up on it, unless you want to. I mean, you can, but like, just do a little bit at a time. It will eventually be finished if you just do a little bit at a time. Even if it's 20 years. No. Hopefully it doesn't take that long, but... You got 100 messages today. Cool. Revolt says, I wish more jobs were more disability friendly. I wish that too. That would be amazing. Laugh at Darkness says, I use Clip Studio too. Yeah, Clip Studio is amazing. It really is. I know people were complaining about how they went to some kind of a different model, like a, you know, pay every month model or whatever, but you can still have the one that you just paid for once and then you own it, so I'm good. Revolt says, how do you feel about temp jobs? I think that, I mean, temp jobs are okay if you want a temp job. I think that they don't treat temp job employees as good as like if you work full-time though. Like, you don't get as many benefits and stuff like that. You know, they sort of have their place. A lot of teenagers and stuff get temp jobs in the summer just to make some extra money, and yeah. And they're actually easier to get, I think, than like getting a full-time actually good job, especially a cushy one. Okay. Yeah, as far as I know for Clip Studio Paint, actually, let me check the website just to see if they're still offering the one-time payment thing. I bought it like right when they made that decision to switch over to a pay every month model thing. They have one-time, they do have a one-time purchase still, and it's $50 right now for the for Pro and $219 for X, and I have the X one just because I wanted to have animations longer than, you know, 24 frames. So yeah, it's still there. They just have a monthly plan from 99 cents a month. That's actually not horrible if you wanted that. Okay, alrighty, I'm gonna go take a quick break, and when I get back, what do you guys want to talk about, actually, when I get back? Let's see. I won't take very long, by the way. I'm procrastinating because I was interested in the conversation. Topic. How about... I was thinking about talking about DID and sexuality and the nature of how all of that works. Would that interest you guys? I know we've got a couple of systems in here, so I might actually do that. But for now, be right back. I made up a new word. Okay, I'll be back. Hello, I'm back. Yee. Okay, so my brain is kind of fried. And, blah. I don't know why I put blah, but let me read some of your messages. Laugh at Darkness says mine is over 1,000 frames. Oh my gosh. It's insane. Nadaj woofs. System stuff. Or how people expect you to switch super dramatically and be very obvious. Yeah, not all systems are obvious in their switches. I am one of the subtle ones for the most part, although I do sometimes have some more like sharp, noticeable switches as well. Yes, talk about how people think switching has one appearance, people calling fake, etc., etc. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, Jaden. That is a good topic. DID and Fakeclaiming. Let's talk about this bullshit. Because it sucks. It really sucks. My nerves are shot from the last topic. I'm gonna get myself an anxiety gummy. But let me first read it, what everyone says here. Mira says, I only just found out that I have had a system most of my life, but I thought they were imaginary friends. Yeah, that's how Seamus came to be. He actually legit used to be an imaginary friend, and he kind of slipped into my subconscious, and now he's like a fictive alter. So, very fun. Laugh at Darkness says, we have an Enid? Enid? How do you pronounce that? Fictive? And we are like, great, people for sure would give us shit for this. Yeah, I feel that. Her job is literally to help us eat food and take a shower. Like, why should people give you shit for that when they're helping you with your self-care? Like, it doesn't matter how the altar presents. It's as long as they help you, right? Jaden says it's rare that switching is obvious for me. Laugh at Darkness says we will go months or years without switching. Sometimes. Wow. Mira, switching is hard to explain for me. I see myself doing it even though I'm not the one choosing to do it. Yeah. Also, I feel like... Ooh, I want to explain the difference between, like, switching outwardly and just having alters talking in your head. But first I need to get an anxiety gummy. Hang on. Hello. I also had to get a blanket because it's really cold in here, but if I turn on the heat, it's gonna get like too hot. And look who I have. I sleep with this little guy every night now. Look how giant. I got this around Halloween. It was a present from my mom. I love it. Okay. She hardly ever knows what to get me, so I just told her straight up, hey, there's this stuffy I saw at the store. You get it? His little hat though, oh, the stuffing got like there's no stuffing in this little tip of his hat now. Okay, oh yeah, I just wanted to mention real quick that when it comes to switching, Something I think that's really important to know, especially if you when you first realize that you're a system, or you're first discovering what DID is in the first place, I guess, is that it's possible for alters to be like talking to you in your head without you switching. Or it's possible for you to switch without it being outwardly obvious as well. So that's always fun. He tends to not really front very often. He's more like in my head and reminding me, hey, maybe you should take care of yourself. Can you go and like, you know, go eat something? It's like a little angel on my shoulder, I guess. Alrighty, let's see. Okay, I might not be able to respond to everybody because there's a lot of messages and my nerves are shot, but I do want to respond to Revolt. Do you think people are too old for imaginary friends? Do you think it's okay for someone to have an imaginary friend? You can have imaginary friends at any age. It's perfectly fine. I see absolutely nothing wrong with it, honestly. Oh, Mira, if you actually want some of my anxiety gummies, they're ashwagandha gummies. Ashwagandha is a type of Indian herb that is really, really good for calming anxiety. Like, I have a friend who I went to Chicago with her, of all places, like, extremely busy. She has, like, really severe PTSD and, like, really struggles being out in public and has panic attacks a lot. I gave her some ashwagandha before we went to Chicago. She had 0 panic attacks. It's amazing. Like, I need to send you... Walmart actually has some now. And I'm so glad they're coming out with gummies because so many people struggle with swallowing pills. I don't. I just happen to get this bottle of gummies for free and they help me a lot. So, Ganda gummies. I'll just put a link in the chat just in case it can help somebody. They're $10 for 60 gummies, and they tell you to take 2, but for me 1 is fine. So it could last anywhere between 30 and 60 days. So here you go. Enjoy. Okay, let's talk about DID and fake claiming. So obviously got this little guy because this is a stressful topic, and also I'm burnt out already. So. Fake claiming is a word that basically means accusing someone of faking something, but it's very often used in reference to people with DID because for some weird reason, people with DID are accused of faking, it seems like, disproportionately, like more so than most people with other conditions. I mean, sometimes that happens with autistic people, especially who are female, because, you know, we tend to mask so much that it might appear that we aren't actually autistic, even though we are and have a diagnosis. And even if you don't have a diagnosis, you're still valid because you probably know yourself. Okay. Yeah. And we already have issues with worrying we are faking. Yeah. Okay. Here's why it's very dangerous to immediately, and useless actually, to accuse someone with a mental disorder, especially DID, to accuse them of faking. Number 1, it's very likely that you're wrong. And if you are wrong, you probably just made their day complete and utter crap by accusing them of faking, and you could trigger aspects of their mental illness as well by doing that. Like, just what do you gain from trying to figure out who's faking and who's not? Like, what do you actually gain from that? Because if someone is faking, it's like, maybe there are some situations where someone who, you know, is actually faking is causing some interpersonal problems, but that's like really rare. That's usually if someone legit has like, what's it called? Malingering, which in and of itself is actually a mental disorder. But it's like that shouldn't be your first thing to go to, is to accuse them of faking. Second, there's no way for you to know unless you are that person or their therapist. Although, a little side note on the therapist thing, sometimes even therapists completely misunderstand their patients. So there are some cases where you know, a therapist could be invalidating, but really the only person who would really know is that person who has the disorder, or is saying that they have the disorder. If you're faking, you would know, because if you're faking, you're probably doing it like on purpose, if that makes sense. And if you're worrying that you're faking, you're probably not. Because why the hell? Oh my gosh. Why would I think about myself and I'm like, why would I fake having DID? It's like one of the most stigmatized disorders ever, and it would be extremely difficult to keep up, you know, a facade of having all these different personalities. This is like, I would literally have to put a lot of work into developing these as like characters and play out the characters and act as them all the time, and that would be extremely exhausting. My brain just does that by itself, so I don't need to do that. Why would I fake it? Okay, sorry. That was more of a rant than me actually providing any value to this conversation. I need to take a drink of tea again. Ugh. Okay, now, here's why accusing a DID system of faking in particular is not helpful. When you have DID, a huge aspect of it is denial. And part of it is because, in most cases, there is some level of dissociation and detachment between the different alters. And not everybody has amnesia necessarily, but a lot do, and a lot would really struggle to come to terms with, hey, I've got these other people living in my head, and this is why I am losing, you know, memory of parts of my day or parts of my week. If you can't see it, like, if it's not something that you're mentally present for, it's really easy to deny that you're actually dealing with this issue. And even if you are mentally present there, like, you can still be really detached from the experience to the point that you're like, did that really happen? Or am I just making this up? And so accusing a DID system, or honestly any system, of faking it's just gonna send us into that thought spiral of, am I just making this up for attention? Am I doing this on purpose? Like, is this real? Like, is this actually happening? Like, oh gosh. You know, laugh at darkness as me sitting by myself. Me, wow, I need to stop faking for attention. Like, yeah. And then the alter comes in, and an alter comes in and is like, yeah, you need to stop faking for attention. We don't really exist. Kidding. Yeah, so it's just a pain in the butt. Honestly, I absolutely detest the fact that the majority of, you know, like, faking mental disorders, compilations on YouTube and stuff, from like TikTok and all that, a lot of them disproportionately are like DID, because again, people with DID are more accused of faking. And for sure, I feel like it's a weird conversation to have with people, because there are people who are legitimately concerned that there is a large number of people, particularly young people on TikTok, who are faking different disorders. Usually the top two are like, no, top three would be like DID, autism, and Tourette's. And there are some, like, I've seen some TikToks where I'm like, it looks a little fishy, like, I'm not sure if it's a real thing. But again, what do I gain from accusing this person of faking? If anything, I can just look at it and be like, looks kind of fishy, but then move on with my day. Like, I don't add anything to the world by commenting fake, or trying to hunt this person down, or trying to investigate them to see if they're fake. If anything, I'm just giving myself work to do that isn't going to really go anywhere. It's honestly stupid. I think that there are so many people online who have this sort of justice-focused mindset, where they're like, this person is doing something wrong and I need to call them out. When in a lot of cases, it's like, not necessary to do that. Like why you does? Why you do's? Don't do that. It's stupid. So how I see it, it's also really damaging for people to make those you know, those faking mental illness or mental illness cringe compilations, because essentially what you're doing is you're grabbing clips of people who you do not personally know, and even if they were people you personally know, it'd still be wrong to do this. You're grabbing clips of these people, assuming that they're all faking, and throwing them all together, and there could be a lot of people who in that compilation who genuinely have those conditions and are just trying to talk about them and express themselves. And here you are putting them in this compilation to purposely make them look like they are malingering or doing something malicious when they are not. So just don't. Also, I want to get on the topic of cringe at some point. Maybe not in this live stream, but in a future video, I want to talk about the nature of cringe culture and how it's extremely just bad, especially for autistic people who we're pretty damn cringe. I'm gonna be honest, but I love it. I love the cringe. I encourage the cringe. We need to be as cringy as possible to make those neurotypical people very uncomfortable and to teach them that, hey, you can totally do things that you enjoy, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself and being yourself, and we're gonna embrace the cringe. So anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox and read your messages here. Laugh at Darkness says, when I spiral into denial, Diana gets pissed. I take it that's one of your alters. Yeah. Some of my alters get pissed when I question them. Like, I'm here, you know. Like, me as the host, I'm like the one who questions the most because I've been blocked off from the others, while the others are just more aware that, hey, yeah, I'm here, I exist, I'm not fake. And then Laugh at Darkness says, people think it's a rare magical unicorn disorder. Yeah. Regarding DID, there are as many people with DID as there are with red hair. Which, you know, red hair isn't super common, but if you think about it, it's like, that's actually more than what most people would assume. Some people think it's like, oh, it's just so extremely rare. It's like, well, even that is not an excuse to go around accusing people of faking. Because even if it seems like it's rare, I mean, there are some conditions in the world where there's literally like maybe 3 people on Earth who have it. Those are like not DID, just usually really obscure things. But for DID, it's much more common than people assume. And even if it's a small portion of a population, if they all decided to go make TikTok videos, it would look like a lot. So even if it was less than people think, it'd still be more than what people think. So, Revolt says, sometimes I pretend to not be autistic and pretend to have Tourette's and wish I had Tourette's or ADHD and just have ADHD and comparing myself to my disability or other people's disability. Yeah. It sounds like you're trying to kind of mask in a way. Revolt's like, or not Revolt, sorry, Paxton's like, it's like I don't care what others do, but I don't know why people care. Yeah, same. Laugh at Darkness says, I call myself Yandere. I am super cringe. Oh gosh. I mean, as long as you're not going around actually like killing people, you're probably fine. Honestly. Okay. What do y'all want to talk about? I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this horrible topic on the top. I'm just gonna put anything. So if you guys have any, I guess, follow-up things you want to say that were left out, or any like questions or comments or concerns or canceling me. What? Killing is wrong. You didn't know? My goodness. Okay, I am... Okay. Hang on, I need another drink. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, Glyphic Enigma. Oh, I know the pain. 3D modeling is a pain. If you need any tips of what I do from start to finish, like, let me know. If actually, I could just explain it right now what I do, just for funsies. Because I have nothing else to talk about. I'm gonna get this little guy out of my way so I can actually use my keyboard. Actually, he's not a little guy, he's a big guy. Laugh at Darkness says, I was kind of depressed earlier. To be honest, this live stream is nice. Well, it was nice having you here, too. I'm glad I could be of help. Sorry. T's making me burp. The things I do to try not to burp, because we can't let people know that girls burp. Well, speaking of, oh Lord, now I want to start talking about gender. I still feel weird just calling myself a girl. I'm gender fluid, so I'm a thing. I just tell people I'm a thing. So I'm just gonna, I know that you never asked, Glyphic Enigma, but I'm just gonna summarize my process, if it helps. Doing a VRM specifically, not an FBX. That's a file type, by the way, for those who don't know. So I open up Vroid, which is the modeling thing, you know. I make as many changes inside of Vroid as I can, and the reason I do that is because everything is already like rigged perfectly to the avatar in Vroid. If I want to have, like, for example, like if you wanted to make a dress on your avatar, I think it's better to look at the pre-existing outfits, pick whichever one has the general shape that you're going for, and you can even use sliders to kind of adjust the shape. Think of it as like your avatar wearing a net, and that net, and the shape of the net, you can put anything, literally anything on that. And then you just go in and you edit the texture, and you can use that to edit on some kind of a dress. Because then it will be moving with the avatar. So, you know, if the chest moves, for example, anything that's on that texture, the clothes texture, will move with it. So, yeah. I at least wanted to mention that part, because I know you're having particular trouble with that. Sorry, I did not see your message till now. That's all good. I just want my hair mesh separate from my body, and there's nothing I can do to fix other than the start of it. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, that would have been a pain in the butt to go in and select all the faces of it. Usually what I do to separate is I would select all the faces of something, and then I would just separate it. But for hair, my god, that would take forever. Laugh at Darkness says, wow, you people, your 3D shenanigans sound so hard. It's a learning curve. It took me a while to learn that stuff. So you said also your boyfriend's non-binary mask. Awesome. Woo. Oh yeah, girls don't fart. Of course girls don't fart. Humans don't fart. Nobody farts. Yeah. 3D modeling stuff is actually really, really fun to me. For anyone who's actually interested in trying it out, like, I highly recommend going to Steam if you have Steam. I don't know where else you can get it. Look for something called Vroid. I'm gonna type it. Vroid. This is like the most beginner software that you could probably have for 3D modeling, and it's got a lot of different pre-made outfits and stuff. So if you want to make like a VR chat avatar or something, that's a good place to start. In terms of actually uploading it into VR chat, you gotta probably watch some tutorials for that. But there's a lot you can do in Vroid. You can like take a pre-existing piece of clothing, like if there's a dress that I like, but I don't like the color, I can go in and edit the texture, and as long as I'm familiar with, like, you know, Photoshop or GIMP or something and know how to just change the layer color or something, I could do that. But a lot of their pre-existing stuff is actually really nice at this point. They have a lot. It's like The Sims. It really reminds me of making a Sims character. It's so beautiful. Glyphic Enigma says 3D and 2D are kind of similar in workload, except for the fact that you don't have to draw every pixel when doing 3D. Yeah, I think that's why I went for 3D, because I feel like, you know, I don't have to be a really good artist or anything to do 3D. I just have to know how to, like, change colors of some things and erase some things and very basic stuff. So, y'all are adorable. I want to live stream more often on here, if anything, just to kind of like talk about anything, just to vent about things and to talk about topics, and maybe I might even clip these down into shorter videos or something, like snippets. I could do shorts, actually. That would be a good idea. So, something I'm working on, and one reason why I haven't actually been very active on here, and, well, to be fair, last month was December. It was very busy. Holidays. But, I've been working on a script for a video, which has become so long that I might actually publish it as a small book, too, and then do a sort of a video script version of it. But, it's basically detailing an aspect of my I guess my childhood and my upbringing that sort of, I think, contributed to me developing dissociative identity disorder. My throat doesn't like that I'm talking. Sorry, like my social energy is like drained from me trying to talk constantly throughout this entire thing. And so I'm like sort of a bit, I guess, dissociated a little. Just going through my music, seeing what there is. Ooh, I know you guys like this song. Oh, wait. Sorry. I'm a bit dissociated and kind of in a middle space, and I'm trying to figure out what's happening. So, I am living in a new house, so I am in a different room right now. I'm glad you like the live streams. I'll consider doing more of them. So, I think I was saying something earlier. What was I saying? Something about a script. Yeah, I was writing a script for a video, and I'm still working on it. I can only do a little bit at a time because it is a topic that is very, like, difficult to write about. But I hope that it'll make for a good video, and it's not gonna be just like a, you know, record my face and that's it kind of video. It's gonna be more of a, like, I want to make it actually good and artistic and stuff. Funny, we're live streaming. Okay. Laugh at Darkness says, I'm looking forward to it. It seems like it could be helpful for us as well. I hope so. Nah. I'm trying to figure out who I am at the moment. And I'm looking at my calendar. Oof. Man, there's a lot going on. I should probably... Oh, thanks for the subscribe, Chris Blackpaw. I'm just trying to kind of ground myself a bit. I'm dissociated a little. And I'm looking at the calendar because I'm also thinking about, I should probably mention that we have a Discord server and we have a movie night there once a month, I think. Let me send a link to the Discord. We don't have a Discord, I forget what it's called. We don't have a Discord, like, what's it called? Command. We have one in Twitch, but not here. So here's a link to Waffle Zone where we all, it's very neurodivergent friendly. 18 plus only. Gonna say that right now, okay? There's nothing like terribly explicit in there. It's just, we've decided it's 18 plus. And, we have movie nights there every month, and I post all of my events, like live streams here even. Live streams on Ginger Snaspy, live streams here. I post videos and stuff in there. But yeah, I basically post all the events, including the Waffle Zone events, like movie nights, in the server. So if you want to keep up with events, that's like the best place to go, because I don't keep up as much on everything else. I do update the Google Calendar though. I do have a Google Calendar. I'm still, I think, getting some of it sorted out, but I think it's a tiny URL. .com/Lucia Streams, is that what it is? I'm gonna see if that's it. Yep, that's it. That's my calendar. Here's a link to the calendar. You can also add this to your Google Calendar. I think I might be Aiden because I'm masculine. The music is very calming. Yes, it is. Oh, I already read that. Never mind. Daniel Cornell says, "What are you studying now?" Are you asking me or someone else in the chat? Because I am not studying anything anymore. I mean, unless you count my just independent watching YouTube and stuff, but, as of now, I'm mostly just focused on doing YouTube and creative stuff and all of that. So, we've been streaming for an hour and a half. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for the super chat, Cammy. That was nice. Yay. You're all awesome. I'm just trying to think of what to talk about because I'm not usually the one who's on live stream. I mean, I am not interested in most of the topics that Alyssa talks about. Like, I don't know. Okay. Well, sometimes I'm there doing Ginger Snaspy. I am not Ginger Snaspy, but sometimes I pop out and say funny stuff. It's hard not to cuss. I'm trying not to, because YouTube is being more specific about that. Oh, you joined Waffle Zone. Thank you so much, Cammy. Woo! Hello! Yes! Another cult member! No, kidding. You guys are so freaking wholesome. Okay. Ooh woo. Ooh effing woo. Alright, since I have like nothing to say, I should probably go. I'm just trying to think, is there any other like, cause Lissa likes to kind of give all the information for things and the shout outs and the my hobbies? exercising. I don't know. I like Beat Saber. I like running. I like anything active, honestly. I don't like sitting down for too long. I don't know. That's pretty much what I like to do. Yeah, as for other stuff, I'm just thinking what's all the spiel that Alyssa does. We have a Patreon. Yes, a Patreon. And on said Patreon, we have special fun things. Like, it's for both of the channels, but you can pick which one you want to support. And there's also a dual support one that's a little bit cheaper as well if you want to support both channels. If you get Super Waffle Blue, you get a Discord role in the Discord server that will put you in a special little category, and you know, people will see your name will have changed color and you will have the label. And then you also get behind the scenes and early access content. You get access to this little secret Discord lounge where all of that is posted. You also get exclusive access to our Through Our Eyes Living with Asperger's behind the scenes playlist, including interviews from the DVD, public presentations, and related content. A lot of that, which previously was on my channel, it's like now just in a private like playlist, along with some extra stuff that actually nobody has seen. So yay. And also access to my relaxing streams playlist as well. Went back when I was doing relaxing streams on Ginger Snappy. Yeah. There are some higher ones too. We have Epic Waffle Blue. That one includes like personal video message from us, and like you can like I can do a shout out in my videos, or self-promotion, or just a nice message or something. And you also get some free merch too. And there's Ultra Waffle. I don't even know what's in here. I'm just reading off of this. You get a welcome packet, yay. More personal video messages, more merch. Maybe I should subscribe to myself, just kidding. We also have, we have pretty much all those same benefits on YouTube as well. So if you would rather sign up on YouTube, you can do that. Follow us on Twitter, all that good stuff, I guess. Yeah. That's about it. I really can't think of anything else. I hope you all have a good night. Our next live stream will be whenever we want. And, bye. Oh wait, I got something else. Paxton. What? You sent me a super sticker. Now I'm just waiting for it to show up before I end the stream. Just because it was nice, thank you. Why isn't it showing up? Wow. Oh well. It didn't show up. I am Sag. I am Sag. Okay, well thank you, Paxton. You all have a good evening. Oh, there it is. Yes! Yes! Nom 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 nom. Okay. Bye.